Hello, this is Lada from astrolada.com, and today I would like to introduce you to a very beautiful and intelligent lady, Zorina Dimitrova, founder of the company healandlearn.com. Hi, Zorina.
Hi, Lada. Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for being here.
Healandlearn.com.
I know Zorina through Mike Amato. Mike Amato is my mentor, coach, business advisor as well. And he said, you have to meet this intelligent, beautiful lady. She's building something amazing. It's going to be like the like Mind Valley of Healing later on. And I was very excited to get to meet you because you are very successful. Before 35 already, you on the board of directors of a huge company, one of the biggest in Austria, and you decided to turn that knowledge of business and to combine the knowledge of business with spirituality. Can you tell us your story?
Well, first of all, thank you, Lada, for having me on your channel. For me, it's a real privilege. I've been a fan of yours since you were in this small room in London and you could hear the train. So that's long time ago. So I've been knowing you behind the curtains for a long time. So for me, it's a real privilege. At that time, I was working at a large corporation. I was not on the board of directors, but I was participating in the board meetings. I was in strategy of a very large corporation in Austria. And but behind the curtains, I was also watching you. I was looking at videos on personal development. I was dating a philosopher. I was all into philosophy, psychology, religions, basically anything that entertains the questions of why we are here, what we are here to do, philosophical questions. And in a way, I wanted to structure the world in my mind. On the surface, of course, it was all about business. I had graduated from a very good university, one of the top universities in Europe, an MBA, and then I landed this corporate job. But to tell you the truth, I don't assign my success, my corporate success, to the education that I had, although this was for sure a contributor. But I used a lot of the manifestation techniques and other principles that I learned to get to this job. And but let me backtrack a little bit of how I got this interest in the first place. In 2003, when Bulgaria was it 2003? Yes, it was 2003. I was studying in the Netherlands. I was studying business there. That was long time ago. So you can calculate that I'm no longer 35. But in 2003, I had, as you call it, dark night of the soul. I had a series of accidents. The last one caused me to fly over a car with my bike, and I was unconscious for a while. And so my mom, who is not a very spiritual person, was not at the time, she got me in contact with an energy healer in Bulgaria. I was on the phone with him every day for about an hour for 7 days. And on the first day, he said, we're going to go through a clearing process, and in 7 days, your life will completely change. And it actually did. I didn't expect it because it happened so rapidly. It happened on the evening of the 6th day when I took the decision. Basically, I had to move to another city, which led me to split with my boyfriend at the time, to leave my home, to leave my job. And I moved to Amsterdam, from where I was commuting to my school. So this instance left such a big mark on me that I was basically branded to search for answers. What had happened to me on a psychological level, on an energetic level, how the world explains everything. I'm not going to go into detail, of course, but this is how I got into these topics of mindfulness, spirituality, everything that controls our lives, because this is what controls our lives.
So till that moment, you're a hardcore, practical, materialist person. And then suddenly this happens, your life gets threatened a few times, you nearly die in accident, you go through energetic healing, and everything flips around. And you're like on a mission then to find out what the reason is. Why is that working? like a proper scientist. You're like, now I'm gonna find the laws, the rules that rule those mysterious processes. Them, and I'm gonna make a business plan out of them.
Right, but that's what I did.
Awesome, I love that.
So I can tell you that before I went to do my MBA, I was wondering, why am I going again? Why am I investing so much in business again? But I have this outward drive to express myself, and also, you know, my chart is a chart of a business person, also of a spiritual person, but hidden. So I was wondering when I was doing my MBA, is it in line with my spiritual understanding to go into completely into business, to invest everything that I have in that, and everything that I don't have as well. Right. And in the end, I didn't have an answer. I just followed my gut, and things shaped bit after bit. So they enveloped bit after bit. I continued with my interests undercover, and I continued developing myself into business. Fast forward now to my corporate career. Soon after the peak of my career, I wouldn't consider it a huge peak, but some would, when I was sitting in this boardroom. My life changed. I got a child, decided to go into business myself, went through 2 other businesses that didn't go well because of multiple reasons. Everybody would say because of myself, I wasn't ready, I suppose. You know, everybody has a path. And then I landed to do healandlearn.com, which is a platform for consultations with experts in mental, spiritual, and life well-being. So at the moment, we have some people that are purely business directed, such as Mike Amato. He also joined. So he's not purely business. He's business, personal development and business. Nobody is purely business. We are all holistic coaches and mentors. Then there's somebody who does rapid transformational therapy and nutrition. Then we have a shaman and so on. Lots of different people from various walks of life, from various fields. And this brings me now to the explanation of why I jumped ship, why I decided to leave the corporate job.
Successful corporate job, as you say.
Right. I told you before that I was using manifestation tools to get to this job. I manifested a promotion after a promotion. And in 1 month, I actually had 3 people come to me and invite me to join their departments. So, and this was after I had used manifestation tools. But
so basically, first you started being interested in spirituality. You carried on your business degrees and business work, and you started using the spiritual methods to get promotions, to manifest. This is something that we have a specialist who is teaching now as well. And they were working, you say.
They were working. They were working. As I said, in 1 month, I actually had 3 people come to me and invite me to their departments. After I was applying methods from the, I don't know if you've heard of the Silva method of mind control and emotional sensory projection. So this is something that I've been through a course and I've practiced. I've been practicing it since 2006 and it works amazingly.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But I had some revelations about manifestation tools, which I briefly mentioned to you before we started recording.
And I love that. Yeah.
So you see, the personal development industry spits out time after time that your purpose is to be happy, that the soul has no specific goal, that you can choose your own path, you can you're basically you design your own destiny. But it goes a bit too far because we're all born at a certain time, you know, because of astrology. There's a predisposition, there's a life thread that goes, and if you diverge too much, you're going to be pulled back, or it's going to break you and you're going to stand still for a while. So manifestation techniques, they work. But if you're not on your path, if you're manifesting money, money, money. It's going to work for a while, but it's going to stop working after a while. And what is worse, it's actually going to start taking things away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're only receiving. And the nature of people as energetic beings, energy information beings, is to give and receive. These are principles in Kabbalah, in every religion, basically. You're supposed to give and receive. And the only thing you can give, so sorry for that, our connection just broke, which usually happens whenever something important energetically is being talked about. I don't know if you've noticed, Lada.
I know they're trying to stop that from,
right.
from the dark regions.
It's happened to me so often. Like whenever I've had a talk to our shaman, and I know that he clears energies before that, and the connection always breaks.
When it's the most important moment,
yes.
when some revelation is being given, the intensity of the energy as well. But yes, that's what gave me goosebumps. Can you repeat it again? That if you can use manifestation tools to get what you want, and that can turn almost like, and sometimes that's what they called black magic in the past, because you're using it for selfish reasons, because you're just taking and not giving back. And then at one moment, the receiving stops, and you actually start taking from your soul, I guess, through your health, through your all other levels of your life.
Absolutely. You start giving away. There is a principle, one of the most known principles in Kabbalah is that we are like vessels and we're filled with light. And whenever we don't give, actually, one of the ways to receive more is to give. If you don't give, you stop receiving. Like your filter stops going up the cup, and you stop filling the cup. So this is when you become emptier and emptier, when you receive through manifestation that is not on your path.
So it means that you're doing something, maybe you're very successful, you're using those manifestation visualizing tools and that you're going to teach anyway, but you're diverging from your path, and they're starting to pull basically the rope back, to pull you back into your path, and you can harm your soul a lot. And actually there is like a dead end at one moment. Even though you're manifesting, it starts slowing down and you feel stuck, you feel unhappy, you feel drained. And then you have to realign yourself to the right path and use those manifesting tools, because only when you're on the right path, you're giving from yourself. Only when you're doing what your vocation and true mission is. And like you said, they say you can be anything you want, but no, we know through astrology, you can't be anything you want. I wanted to be a model all my life, but I'm 164. I could never be a model with that height, or a ballerina, but so you're given certain options within a certain frame that you can, according to astrology, and I've seen it over and over, that you can choose between those different options, but you can't diverge too much because it's not your thing. And you can do it through magical means, through manifestation tools, but you're so much better off using those manifesting tools and using them basically aligned to your mission. First discovering your mission, and then you jump off, like quantum jump, as they call it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry. Absolutely. You explained it perfectly fine. So what people see in the end is the purpose, what you're doing. And you imagine it as a peak in a mountain, but how you climb up there is all the unconscious work that you do, all the self-discovery, what your purpose is, how you interact with other people, what the psychology of relationships is, how your energy moves. Everything that you learn, that you should learn before you discover your purpose, is letting you climb up the peak. And then when you want to start a business, then you go down the peak and nobody sees that either. It is the how exactly you do it, what are the nitty-gritty things, what are the wheels that you're turning. This is also something that people don't see. But this is a program that I'm offering now, basically the whole mountain. And I can give you some tips of how you could discover your purpose right now. If you think it's a good idea, I can share some of them.
I know amazing people that are so talented, but they don't know what their passion is. They're so intelligent, and they go into different paths and ways. And through astrology, I can point them a few paths and ways, but how can you be sure what is your path?
Well, you know, everything that everything requires the test of time. So you cannot define your path like that.
You wake up and you say, that's it.
You could, but there must have been a longer process before that. And then it's a sudden revelation. But in general, if it's your purpose, it's an underlying interest for a long, long time. And I can give you tips that you can apply right now, but you shouldn't rely on this one session that you've discovered your purpose. Maybe you should repeat it for a week, for 2 weeks, for a month, until you're absolutely sure that you're getting the same answers. Because you know, you may decide out of passion that this is your purpose, but passion is not purpose. Passion without a skill or without a resource is just a passion. It's just a hobby. You need to have the skills and the resources, the talents to execute this potential, because you're born as a talent, as a potential. And this is probably what you see in the chart as well. But whether somebody follows their purpose or not, it depends on whether they've connected a certain idea to the talents that they have. And there's a Russian psychologist who explains purpose as the two ends of a battery, the two polarizations of a battery. If your potential is the plus and the idea is the minus, only when you have the potential and the idea connected does the battery start working and you have energy flow. So basically you need to connect the idea to the potential that you have. And so I'm going to give you 3 quick ways, but with a disclaimer that they might be superficial if you do them only once. So now, one of the ways is to imagine an extreme situation. For example, that you're put on a deserted island or in a prison and you're given 1 hour. You go into a meditative state, and within this 1 hour, you're supposed to figure out what your purpose is. Otherwise, you never get out your entire life.
Okay. Pressure there.
There's a lot of pressure there, pressure cooking. But as I said, you need to use a multitude of methods to be sure that this is your purpose. So, but this is when you become very creative, because you know what your talents are, and then you link them to an idea just to make sure. You know that there are worldly judges out there that if you don't come up with your purpose within an hour, you'll stay on this deserted island forever. Another extreme...
Can I just say something? This is so correct, because actually the only time I started doing astrology, even though I've been studying it for years before that, and I've been, should I not, was when such a situation, life pressed me by the wall. I got fired. I could not find a job, and we were not allowed to work in the UK. And my boyfriend then said, if you don't find a job, we're splitting up and you're going back to Bulgaria. Or if you don't decide what you want to do. So I had like a month to decide what I want to do. And that pressure cooker, that thing pushed me, and that thing made me connect the ideas and the vision and how it's going to happen, because I had no option. I had to destroy everything I've worked for till then. And it's very right. If you can put yourself in such a mental state with visualization or a feeling, you can come up with some solutions way faster. But when it's actually happening in life, and that's how often people find their mission, when they're on the edge, when they're going to starve tomorrow, when they're going to, you know, I've read so many stories when she didn't have money to feed her children and she was taken out of her home, evicted, and that's when the idea comes, and that's when the mission comes. So we should be grateful when we actually in such moments when we hit rock bottom, because that can shoot us in the right direction to find our mission. Carry on.
No, absolutely. I think the challenges are one of the, if not the only way for the soul to grow. Without challenges, you cannot grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sure, I know. When things are good, I'm the same. I don't change.
So another extreme example is if you imagine yourself dead in a coffin, and you imagine what people would say about you, what the important people would say about you. Would they say, this person made great Excel sheets? Or this person cleaned the house impeccably every single day?
I was going to people to say this about me. I don't mind that. But yes, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. So when you immerse yourself in such a situation, when you think, okay, what do I leave behind? When I'm dead, what would the important people to me say about me? What would I have achieved? I mean, of course, on one level, you can look at your relationship to them. They would say, of course, how you treated them and what your relationship was to them, which is probably number one thing. But then they would probably say something along the lines of how you lived your life. Did you live your life in integrity? And this would also include, did you live a life on purpose? Because if you don't live on purpose, you don't live in integrity. You live a fake life, somebody else's path. Yeah. Another way is if you go back in time and you imagine what your interests were when you were a child, when you were a very small child, before programming happened, before mind control happened, what were your real interests? And this would probably show you your talents. It doesn't mean that this is your purpose, because of course you have to connect it to an idea and make a purpose out of it, but it will show you your talents, which is your starting point.
Wow, that's so true. I'm just remembering that I used to pretend to be a teacher always. Like I'll teach my dolls, and I used to pretend that I have supernatural abilities.
Which you do.
It's like I can predict the future and things like that. I was like that I can levitate. So still not there, but I can predict the future to some extent now.
Yeah. To the extent that you're allowed to, maybe you're not allowed to.
Yes, you're not allowed to see it all.
Yeah.
Just so you can help people and yourself get out of difficult situations.
Right. And of course, there's a longer process, as I said, to discover your purpose, but these are very quick tips. And another final tip on purpose is to think what you do out of hobby. What kind of videos do you watch when you're off of work? What kind of magazines do you read? What kind of people you hang out with? What your interests are when you don't have to work? And this will also give you a clue. Yeah.
And put all these together somehow.
Right.
You have to do it as a
system. Yes, there is a system of.
And then once you figure this out, what is the next step?
You see, when you have an idea, it still doesn't make. You're still not sure that you're going to make money out of it or that you're going to make a living. So you have to make it. You have to put your idea connected with the talent, so your purpose, you have to fit it in a business model that makes you money, in something that is profitable, that you actually can reach people with. And so I'm starting this program, maybe now is the time to announce it. I'm starting a group online training program on the 21st of September. That is going to be a 3-month-long program on starting a business with a meaning. And why I called it with a meaning is because it carries a meaning, but not only to you, because whenever it carries a meaning to you, it carries a meaning to everybody else. This is the spread of your purpose. So basically we go through a whole process. Purpose is only one of 11 sections of this training, as a matter of fact, because there are so many details before that. It is the entire picture of the world that I have created for myself, and I have tested after years of exploration of, as I said, religions, personal development, different methods. And after we discover the purpose, we will go into practical business models and tips, business tools that are used that I've learned in the MBA. So we're going to look at various business models, how the most famous companies operate. For example, you probably don't know, or maybe you've heard that LinkedIn and Dropbox operate with the freemium model. They give off something for free. Basically, the majority of their service is free, but they have a small portion, usually 10% of the subscribers or of the users, that pay.
Yes.
So this is the freemium model. So when I explain and put them into structures with examples, you would know
Sorry, just a second.
No problem. I'll continue speaking. So when you know what the,
Yeah. Sorry. Carry on.
no problem, kids, I know, I also have one. So when you know what the models are, you can easily put your idea into shape, into a structure. So this is why I'm also offering people to join a free webinar next week, where I'll be talking about business models. It's going to be a free interactive, hopefully live if we manage to do it, live webinar on your channel. But as a part of the program, I will go in depth into business model structures, into strategy and operations, business planning, how business planning is done, including financial statements. Because if you don't know your finances, you're basically not doing business. So P&L, cash flow statement, balance sheet, and also valuation techniques for startups. We're going to go through the entire circle of knowing yourself, how you want to shape your life, your relationships to other people, how they influence your business life, how to gain confidence and be sure that you're on your path, how to discover your purpose, and then all the business tools. This is it.
But you also teach the spiritual tools.
I teach, exactly.
Of course, don't you?
I teach the beginning. I start with the spiritual makeup, the energetic makeup of a person. Then I talk about manifestation tools. So just as to give myself some credibility on these topics, I've gone through trainings on the Silva method, NLP, Reiki. I've been attuned in Reiki. So, and I'm constantly exploring and learning new things. So of course, nobody knows everything, but I have created a certain picture that I also think helps a lot of the people that I know and that I've taught these things. And the manifestation tools that I told you about, by the way, have worked on many people.
Even when you're not aligned to your purpose, but then you don't really want to use them for that because you're diverging from the path. But if you find the purpose, and that's what I think is very interesting about your course, is that you don't just do the business side of it, you do the spiritual side of it, but you do also the getting to finding your mission, the process to find it and how to attune yourself to what your mission is. So it's a very, it's 3 months you said, and you're giving a 20% coupon discount for anyone of our viewers. So below in the description, Zorina has given us a coupon. If you're interested in that program that she's doing for 3 months, is 20% off.
The 15th of September.
Yes, until the 15th of September, if you're interested. But Zorina is making a free webinar on the 11th of September, which is going to speak more on the business side. What are the different business models? If you're interested, tune in here at the Astroada website, YouTube channel, sorry, to see Zorina's expertise and to get the feel for some of her teachings. And as I told you, I want to introduce here not only people that are spiritually minded astrologers, I want to introduce people from the secular world that have the tools for success and the business practices and the business knowledge and knowledge for the outside world only, rather than because we have a lot of spiritual tools here, but it's often what happens with people that are from like my type of people, you know, we have ideas and we have inspirations, but we don't know the how to do it. We don't have the tools because some of us don't have business background. Some of us are too spiritual to care about business plans and models. And some of us hoping that it will kind of manifest, you know, in a magical way without having to work through the nitty-gritty, boring details of business and these strategy tools. But I guess we need them all.
I will give you one secret now of manifestation as well. Lots of people, very quickly, and then I suppose we would need to end. But when people think about manifestation, they think it's only a work in the mind. And because there's a saying, you know, 99% of everything you do and everything that you manifest, you do in your subconscious mind, in your unconscious mind even, that is deeper than subconscious mind, which is generally true. But sitting down and making a business plan and making an outline of something and writing down in general, putting your thoughts into structures is also a manifestation tool.
So it's very practical tool, sitting down.
Yes.
I always do.
Because you give it a realistic shape, you make it real in your mind by writing out exactly how you're going to do it, putting numbers into it. This is also a manifestation tool.
Yes, that my husband loves that everywhere he goes, in the toilet, in the bedroom, there are ideas written everywhere. I keep a pen and paper everywhere, and when something comes up, and since I started doing that, things are, I take it to the finish. I start from the paper and I take it to the finish. So this is an amazing tool. I didn't think it was a tool. I thought it was so I don't forget. But it shapes it. It gives it a better shape. And you're absolutely right.
Yeah, if you sit down and you even write it out in more detail, if you start planning with numbers as well, and you imagine how exactly this is going to work next month, in 2 months, and so on.
Yeah, that's what I do. I put numbers, years, because I get excited when I want it to happen, and it seems to be working. And I was the worst at manifesting. I was a total loser till 30, you know, changing jobs, waitressing, bad in everything. My life was such a mess. And I thought I could never do anything. I was hoping I would meet someone rich that I can be just housewife. And if I can transform from total loser, and I was homeless and I was drug addicted, I can tell you like the worst things. You can change too. Everyone can change. And I did step by step. Basically, a lot of the things that you were telling, I did them on my own without knowing this, but it took much longer than others.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic if you have a system compacted and given to people so they have the tools, so they don't have to go like me for 10, 15 years back and forth and trying to figure it out on their own. And instead you can do this transformation in a year, hopefully.
You can do it even much faster. It's all about the knowledge that you get, creating an image of your mind of the world, because we have the wrong images of what the world is and how it works.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully you can show people, starting from next week, free webinar on business models. Zorina will be hopefully more often on our channel with proper business advice here. We're not only doing woohoo boohoo spiritual stars now with proper business training. Thank you so much, Zorina, for joining me. And if you're already interested in the course Zorina is offering, check out the link below to her website with the discount coupon just for Astrolada viewers. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lada, for having me and for your time.
You're welcome.